Good evening all. Sorry about that, I had the mic off. I greet you all in the wonderful name of our God, Creator, the one who represents us all, even though we might call him different names, even though we might not know who he is. But I give thanks that I'm able to stand before you all. I give thanks once again, Amut Guru, my inspiration, someone that I can turn to in times of help or needing advice. And I thank you that I'm able to be with my family today at the ashram. I thank you all. Before I start, I was asked to start with prayer. If we don't mind, bowing our heads in prayer. Thank you. God, our Creator, we come before you this evening asking for your guidance, your protection, and help us. Help us understand what it is we should be doing. Help us understand your desires. Help us understand where we went wrong. Because, God, we are in trying times. We are in struggling times. There's nothing easy about the path that we're on, but we're trusting in you that all good things must come. We trust in you that you will be there for us all, irrespective of religion, irrespective of race. None of us are your stepchildren. We are all yours. You created us in your image, and we trusting in you and asking that you be there for us. Be there for us during the difficult times, the times of need, the times of hunger. Be there for us. You understand more than anyone else what it is that we need. It's not about wants, but it's about needs now. And we ask that you be there for us and help us overcome these challenges we face. Help us be there for one another. Help us understand one another. Help us support each other. Help us care. Help us care. And we thank you, our Creator. We thank you now and forever. Amen. I thank you. I thank you all. I thank you, Guru. Today, as you could see on the itinerary, representing Cape Coloured Congress. Cape Coloured Congress, yes, it's a Cape Town political party. But the reason I chose them, because we were in need as a coloured race. And yes, I know many will say we're being racist for mentioning the word coloured, but we're tired of being the underdogs. We're tired of the struggles. We're tired of being ignored. We're tired of being under the table. Because really, our fathers and our great fathers were hard workers. They built a lot that we see today. When you talk about oil refineries, that's why I love sitting with the older generation, because it educates us things that aren't passed on. It's stories that we don't hear on the streets. For nowadays, it's only about drugs, alcohol, killing each other. But there was a good past. Our great-grandfathers, our grandfathers and our fathers had a wonderful past. They built refineries, they built hotels, there's many things that they have done and helped build this nation, but it's all forgotten. And why did it get forgotten? Because our communities are ravished by drugs and alcohol. I promise you, everyone has turned their back on us. There's no one that can come forward and say that they truly do care. I've yet to meet a political party today or any other day that can say that they stood for their people, that they represented their people. All I see when I look around is people interested in their own needs, their own desires. They're not worried about me and you. I have yet to challenge anyone to come forward and show me a political party that did that. And I was hoping that the one I joined, Cape Coloured Congress, did represent that. But even that has got its own challenges in its own. And being a coloured, we were all chucked together. They say you got no religion, you got no culture. Oh, little do they know. We've got so much. It's just a matter of us finding out where we come from. Just look a bit back, go further, speak to your grandparents and find out where you come from. Who's your granny, who's your grandfather? You'll be surprised. We've got Indian coloureds, we've got African coloureds, we've got Malaysian coloureds, we've got a variety, but no one ever talks about it. For some reason, our community's alcohol has taken over. I don't know if you call it a spell or brainwashing, but it really has. The drugs and alcohol has defeated us and it's defeating us. And I know we got many religious people in our community, especially me in Newlands East, almost 26 churches, besides the mosques, etc. But still, we are still faced with challenges daily. I see my friends die daily. I see my neighbors hungry. I see grannies finding difficulties with buying food. The challenges are endless, so where did we go wrong? How do we sort it out? Is there a solution? I haven't got an answer. But I say people, sometimes the simple things is what matters. Maybe just being there for your neighbor, maybe caring. And Cape Coloured Congress, our name, has given us a lot of challenges, because now it seems like it's only a poor party for Cape Town. The word coloured, no, it's too racist for us. But our intentions were just to show that we can unite this nation. We wanted to show that irrespective of who you are, because of where we're coming from in the mixture in our blood, we thought it would unite us all. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But we managed to get more than 3,000 votes in KZN, which is fantastic. Compared to other parties that have been around for so long, we were a new party. We actually registered to vote on the final day, to take part in our local elections. On the last minutes is when a decision was made to participate. And we did well, considering KZN, the little that we had, no budgets, no pamphlets, no posters. But the little we had, we made it count. And it's because of people like you and neighbors and friends that, inspired us to go that extra mile. Even though we were back broken and penniless, we did it. And we thank all those that did support us and trusted in us. And going forward, we got a lot of work to do, a lot of work. Because politics has opened my eyes and it made me realize something. We are slowly going back to the way things were before. And when I say that, we're going to be slaves. Our great-grandchildren will end up being slaves. The rates we are going, if you do not open your eyes, that's where our great-grandchildren will be. They will be slaves. So it's up to us to start working together, put the religion aside, put the races aside, and let's start helping each other. Let's actually start trying to be there for each other. Let's start caring for each other. Let's start listening to each other. Just those little things, please. Speak to your older generations, your grandparents, your parents. Find out more about where you come from. Let's try and fix all that's broken. It won't be easy, but I know together we can. And we can find solutions to all that we're faced with. We can. Our ancestors did it. We can do it as well. And together we can. And I thank you all for taking time to listen to me. I appreciate it. Wish you all the best. God bless. Thank you.
Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. Today is the penultimate day of our marathon satsang. It culminates in Guruji's birthday tomorrow. Bruce, if you look straight ahead, that is my spiritual master, and he was born on the 27th of May 1937. He had an opportunity to have a conversation with the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord was prepared to give him whatever he asked. Guruji stated that he only wants one benediction, and that is to remove suffering from mankind. In his conversation with the Supreme Lord, he only wanted one benediction, to remove the suffering from mankind. He worked behind the scenes up until 1989, when he found a land in India, and he built the Sri Siddhartha ashram. In 1998, I don't know if Bruce heard of the river Ganges, and every 4 years, over 100 million people go to the river Ganges and pray at once. It's the biggest mass prayer on this planet Earth. And in 1998, the saints and sages of our system nominated him World Guru. And they nominated him World Guru for the substantive work that he had done thus far. But his benediction, he could not reach Newlands East. He could not reach Newlands East. So he found me in Durban, and he asked me to reach out to Bruce because his benediction is universal. He said he does not want humanity to suffer. He did not say, I do not want Indians to suffer. When he was crowned World Guru, he said, I will only accept this crown if this crown supersedes race, religion, caste and creed. And then only he accepted this crown. So Guruji belongs to you as well, Bruce. He belongs to John in the back there. I'm happy I got coloreds and I even got a white man in my satsang today, and Guruji will be absolutely excited because he wanted to see a multi-racial, multi-ethnic, socially cohesive society. But he wanted to see it through my eyes. And this is why I've been consistent for the past 9 years in making sure that Guruji's benediction reaches every corner of the globe. And with Bruce at my side, we can reach the unreachable. His mom is here today, and I see she is supporting him on these paths, and a great mother produces a greater son. The last time I saw a huge colored congregation like this was in Butterworth, Airport 3. And now I'm seeing a big colored congregation in my ashram. I don't know what those DJs would have been saying, Bruce. There was an Indian DJ there, DJ Ash. All right? Guru's memory is crystal clear of these nightclub days. And then I was also called a braino. So I was 23 years old, short hair, beard, not this white saintly beard, that tramping, kicking, booting beard with double earrings. And I was a policeman. I used to work undercover, and I used to walk down Warwick Avenue. And I used to hear in the corridors, they said, that braino is around. And I was known to shoot first and ask questions later. So they had branded me as the mad braino. So town used to get very, very still. And I hope, Bruce, those days are gone, but it looks like we have to bring it back and shake up this government. We need to shake this government like we shake an apple tree that has full of rotten apples in it. We need these apples, these bad, rotten apples to fall. They have stolen all that is required in Newlands East. There's enough in this country, Bruce. It is the ANC government that has put you in this predicament in which you gave your speech tonight. It is them that are culpable. And we need to rise. We need to rise. We rose once and we left it to them. Now when we rise, we must make sure that whoever we put in parliament, they must know morality and ethics. They must have a relationship with the Supreme Lord. It must be God through them that must govern this beautiful country. South Africa is the most beautiful country in the world. There is no greater beauty than South Africa. It has the best people. It has the best races. It has the best culture. It has the best landscape. There's nothing that is short in South Africa. We can become a world on our own. We do not need to import anything or anyone. God has given us the richest treasures. In this ground, there's enough to make every South African a millionaire. Every South African can become a millionaire. We only 54 million or 59 million. That is all. There's trillions of rands that's floating around that can be equally divided, and every South African, black, white, colored, educated, uneducated, able, disabled, whoever you are, you can be a shareholder, a millionaire shareholder of the wealth of this country. And it starts like this, Bruce. It starts with pain. It starts with identification of the situation. And myself, you, together with those that you met, we will form an interfaith, multicultural, multi-religious army. And our armory will come from the Supreme Lord. We won't fire metal bullets. We'll fire the truth. And we'll fire the truth in every dimension. By next year, this time, this country will know us. And the world will also know us. Because the Lord has started bringing his generals together. Look at Bruce, what a good general. Put him in a camo cap. Give him a few stars. So this is what my spiritual master wants, Bruce. Because to eradicate poverty, to eradicate the impediments in society, you have to have a willing government. No social organization can remove these impediments. We do not need to become a welfare state. We have so much of wealth. It is not necessary. We are not beggars. We are not beggars. We do not need welfare in South Africa. Every citizen born in this country has a right to all the wealth proportionately divided in this country. That is our constitutional right. But thieves and rogues are telling us otherwise. And I'm happy for the Cape Coloured Congress, because the Coloureds were always branded as stopping work on a Friday at midday. Party began 1 minute past 12, and it would go on till Sunday night, and work will only come in the head on Monday morning, the kit bag and the courts. And I'm happy that is now part of the past, because the colored community, and I'm sure there's over 6 million of you, bros. Yes, 3 million has woken up. But you cannot do it alone. This country belongs to all of us. And it is with synchronized identification that we need to stand together. Divide and rule has been the demon strategy since time immemorial. And a demon can be a colored, an Indian, a black or a white. But that formula has worked. And I was happy that 2 pastors in consecutive days said that God exists in unity. And they proved through the Bible that God becomes alive when He identifies unity. And when we unite racially, religiously, ethnically, culturally, we're going to leave no loophole for the Supreme Lord. He has to prove His substantive spirituality when we unite. And we're going to start in South Africa. It's our country. This is where we are suffering. And we're going to make that change. That change must happen. And just a handful. God's army is always small. God's army is always small but potent. The seed of change is already germinating in the consciousness of South Africans. We don't want to see any of the old leaders. We can't call them leaders. Can we? No. Or else we won't be in this position. So running a country is very simple, bros. It starts with the oldest scripture that is known to man. It starts in the Vedas. And the Vedas state that the priestly class must advise the administrative class, which are one segment are politicians. Politicians must take advice from the priestly class. So you in the priestly dimension, I am in the priestly dimension, the Molana is in the priestly dimension, the pastor is in the priestly dimension. And if we all can have a common understanding, our vote bank is bigger than the vote bank of a politician or a political organization. Because the Hindus or the Sanatan Dharmis have spiritual heads, the Christians have spiritual heads, the Islamic have spiritual heads, and if all the spiritual heads get together, they can direct the voting in this country. They can say, run ANC, run. That is my new slogan. Run ANC, run. And you're not running from myself and Bruce, you're running from God. Because God, through us, is going to make you run. And the Vedas state it is very, very simple to run a country. In fact, the government has been nominated to redirect the flow of your money. Your 14% that you pay every day in the shop, which you do not realize, you just say, I'm paying VAT. Your work insurance, your tax, your business tax, that is your money and my money. The ANC never owned any money. The ANC government cannot own any money legally. They have no legal mandate to own any money. The money in the Reserve Bank belongs to you and I. Everyone that pays tax, even if you're not registered, you buy a loaf of bread, you're paying tax. Even though you're not registered with SARS, everything that you purchase, you're paying 14% tax. Then when you get registered, you're paying tax. Then when you become a businessman, you pay tax. You're paying tax on everything. It means you are the owner of the country. If you're a shareholder in a company, aren't you the owner of the company in proportion to your shares? Then you are the owner of this country in proportion to the taxes that you pay. In South Africa and the world over, this simple verdict injunction has been reversed. If you own the money, then who is the boss? And who is the worker? So the state president is employed by you, and he is paid by virtue of your taxes. Every government official is employed by you. You are the employer and they are the employed. As per our constitution, our municipal law and our provincial law, they are earning our money. But the situation is reversed. Whilst earning our money, they have become bosses. They are telling the citizens what to do, and whilst they're doing that, they are amassing and redirecting the money to themselves. So if we unpack the law in South Africa, we have labor courts, yes? And if your employee goes wrong, you have to put your employee right or remove the employee. Yes or no? Why are we making it so difficult to remove a lame duck president? A lame duck president. If you are in a company and you elect a CEO, and if that CEO is not performing as per the company's expectations, what do? Why can't we remove this lame duck president? How many of them are in parliament? How many of us are suffering? We are suffering because we are allowing this lame duck president and the rogues that are utilizing our money for their own comforts. Our children are suffering in this winter today without a blanket because their children have about 500 blankets, name brand. We can't even put a normal sack blanket over our children because they have robbed our children. Their families have robbed our families of what we do not have. I do not have a car because they are moving in Range Rovers with my money. You understand? So they stole my money, they stole your money, and they're living a good life. And this is a reality. So we start this movement. We start this interfaith, multi-religious, multi-faith, interfaith, multi-ethnic movement, and we get a band of lawyers and constitutional lawyers to back us up and make sure in 2024 we do not see the word ANC must be a bad word in our society. It must be a banned word. It must be a banned word. And we have the power to make this happen. If we do it through unity. So I want to throw a few names in the arena. The name of your president is, or chairperson is? Fadil Adams. I'm throwing this name in because we need change. And we need change from the heart, not from the lip. And this gentleman, Mr. Adams, he is talking about change from the heart. And the Sri Narayan Dham will support him from now until he continues his political work. It's not easy. It's not easy being Mr. Adams. He has over 1,000 children now. And although from one race, as Bruce explained, and I like his explanation, there's Indian coloreds, there's also colored coloreds, then there's black coloreds, and there's white coloreds. All right? So there's a whole lot of work for Mr. Adams. I wish, Bruce, when he comes to our province, you bring him to the ashram. And you also let him read this snippet about himself. Then there's Musi. What's his name? Musi? From the ex-DA leader? Musi? Mayamani. The Sri Narayan Dham is going to give him full support. We have not met him yet. He does not even know, but now and again I share his post. And then there's that Neil De Beer, who lied to us that he will come to the ashram twice, but we forgive him. We are spiritual, we're not political. Then there's my very own Bruce from the East, one of the wise men from the East. Bruce is in the Bible. And I'm flighting Karo Charo. I'm flighting Karo Charo. This man is trying his best for the community. He just does not know how. So I reached out to him. I had a meeting with him. And I told him that I am a seasoned politician and I'm going to take him out of the few messes he gets in, and I'm going to make him an astute politician. So I've threw out a few names so that I can make it a challenge. We are live. We cannot edit what we are saying. So I have not met Neil de Beer yet. I have not met Musi yet. I have not met Mr. Adams yet. But we're going to become a cohesive organization, independent where we need to be independent, and synthesized where we need to be synthesized. But we will give the ultimate result that South African politics, South African mindset will change. Right now, we are in a failed state. South Africa is a failed state. That means the government has collapsed. The government has collapsed. This country has no government. They just have caretakers. So we are in a failed state. And we have to work. We have 1.5 years or 1 year to work in, and we have to work and reclaim our beautiful country. Reclaim our beautiful country. So, Bruce, I hope you didn't come here to get blessed. We want you to start work. We want you to start work. If you came for the food, I don't think there's enough energy in the food for what I want from you. Okay? But my spiritual master single-handedly made this change in one stroke. And my first guru, the one on my right, 1,005 years ago, when he took his birth, the country in which he took his birth was in the same turmoil. He walked the length and breadth of India, Lord Sri Ramanuj, 1,005 years ago, and his instructions to me is make sure you have a Breno brew, you have a black brew, you have a white brew. And I got all these brews. You understand? And he made it happen 1,000 years ago, Bruce, with his 2 feet and his mouth. Today I got Dr. Hemita Singh, who sends all my live postings around the world. Okay? How easy it is for me. I do not have to even leave the ashram. And I started this revolution. I started this revolution. This revolution is not going to stop until our people are seated in parliament. We must be able to connect to that 400 people, Jessica, that sit in parliament. South Africa must be divided into 400 pieces. And each parliamentarian must own a piece of South Africa or be the custodian of a piece of South Africa. Who's your parliamentarian in the East? Which member of parliament represents you in Newlands East? How big is his place in KZN? How many people know that? How many people is he supposed to be representing? How many million people is he supposed to be representing? So we're going to change that system. Everyone in parliament must have a part, and this is our Mosiwa Lokotas from COPE, my former president, from Congress of the People. this is what he wanted. South Africa must be divided into 400 pieces, and every representative in parliament must be known and voted. We must vote those parliamentarians there, not the ANC put their cousins and then they get the Guptas to direct their cousins. No. We from the ground, when you divide South Africa, we must say Bruce must represent 5 million of us. You understand? So I'm using the month of the Ramanujans in many, many dimensions, spiritual, religious, social, and today we've made it political. Because I have my brain of brew here. And we got a lot of work to do. So Bruce got acquainted to me through the great Linda, and I want to pay tribute to Linda, who has become, before she passed on, she was coming every week to the ashram. And she understood social cohesion at its core. And I thank her for giving us Bruce Gator. And I'm sure, Bruce, in these next few years, I'm going to make sure your beard changes the same color as mine soon. I think you're having it too soft in life to have a rich black beard. It means you're having it too soft in life. So I'm going to make sure in a few months we have the same color beard. So I want to thank you. I want to invite you again tomorrow, Bruce, if it's possible. Some members, it's Guruji's birthday, and I'm sure he'd like to see you here. He made me whiter than him. Look at his beard, Bruce. And that's at 70. I'm only 59. Look at what he did to me since 2008. I met Guruji in 2008. All right? Somebody will think I'm Guruji's guru if we look at our beards. So he worked me. You can see he worked me. All right? So those of you in your family, if it's not too much of a bother, today it is just a coincidence that you're here today. I wanted to give you a day at the ashram, like I gave everyone else, and today was your day at the ashram, but tomorrow is celebrations, is Guruji's birthday, and if you can make it with any amount, however, by tomorrow you'll tell me, so we'll move the back, all the back things will be moved, this hall will be full, and we're going to have a birthday party. Can't use the word Joel. And can't talk about Butterworth and DJ Ash. But we'll have a birthday. I want to thank you, Bruce, and thank your mom, thank your wife, and all the people that you brought to the ashram. Tell me which God would not be happy seeing this diversity. And whenever you invite us, we'll come over to the east. I'll come with my camera woman. We'll have a veg braai. Yeah. And maybe Bruce might just become a vegetarian. He'll play with bones. He'll play with bones, but he'll be like our dog Lachman. All right? Jai Shriman Narayan.